Some think of the ocean as a scary place, one filled with entities we do not know exist. And that is partially true. Today, we will be looking at 15 deep sea creatures that are sure to leave you confused and terrified. Let's get started.
Let's go.
The Thomachithis axeli is a deep-sea creature in the anglerfish family, and not much is known about it since there are very few specimens that are being studied. Living at a depth of roughly 3,600 meters below sea level, the highest parts of the midnight zone, this creature is not very big, maxing out at roughly 37 centimeters or just over a foot. The main feature of this anglerfish is the fact that its lure is dangling from its upper jaw, instead of the well-known anglerfish who have their lures on top of their heads. They are part of the Thomachithidae or wolf trap anglerfish family, which means that its upper jaw can close over its lower jaw in order to form a cage. Not exactly your most family-friendly fish. The squidworm. The thing you just can't unsee no matter how hard you try. Discovered in the Coral Triangle between Indonesia and the Philippines at roughly 2,800 meters below the surface, it was named the squidworm because the squid-like tentacles on its face, which are used to catch detritus or small dead pieces of flesh or food. We don't know much about this creature because it keeps worming out of our sights. Hey, I know that was garbage, but we're only on number 2 and I still got tons of jokes, so deal with it! The giant isopod, or Bathynomus, is a deep-sea relative of pillbugs. It is one of 20 species of large isopods and lives at depths between 170 and 2,700 meters below sea level. This thing is not called a giant for nothing, measuring up to 16 inches, roughly the size of 1.5 footballs. While its diet does include fish and crabs, it does rely heavily on sunken carrion or dead corpses brought down to the depths. These usually include large animals like whales. Yes, dead whales that sink to the bottom are eaten up by these little guys. Now if you'll please excuse me, I need to throw up. The frilled shark is another little-known species of the deep sea, living from 50 to 1,500 meters below the surface. They have long, elongated bodies with mouths that are filled with around 300 teeth in 25 rows that are pointing in a backwards direction, which allow them to snag fish without them being able to get out. Frilled sharks can be part of accidental shark catches in fish nets off of boats. Imagine this made-up situation where a guy, let's say, what's his name? Apple catches one of these sharks. And how do the sharks feel about this?
Skip it up and down.
Not very happy about that. The frilled shark can measure to a maximum of 6.4 feet long, and while this shark does look terrifying, there are some sad stories that accompany it. For one, there have been many instances in Japan where accidental catches have been brought to the surface to be put in aquariums. Which, hello? Self-proclaimed Einsteins. This shark lives 1,500 meters below the surface. You bring it up, it's gonna die! And it always does, unfortunately. The shark usually dies from a few days to a few months after capture, which in my opinion is pretty sad. Yeah. Great job, idiots! The Atlantic wolffish is a kind of fish that, at least in my opinion, is very well named. If you just look at its face, hint, hint, what do you see? Are those teeth? Yeah, that's why it's named the wolffish, because of the massive teeth and the unusual shaped jaw. They live at depths of roughly 20 to 500 meters below surface, and the water temperatures there are usually -1 to 11 degrees Celsius. They can generally be about 1.5 meters long or 5 feet and weigh up to 40 pounds. And their diet seems to consist of mollusks, crustaceans, and these things. This species does seem to be slightly endangered or slightly at risk, according to a certain website that I'm currently looking at while recording. Don't ask which one it is. Yeah, this is definitely a creature that looks a little scary. The mantis shrimp is a relative of shrimp that can live up to 1,500 meters below the surface. Now you may be thinking, oh, its cousins, the regular shrimp, are pretty meekish, so this one is probably a shy one as well. Well, you are wrong. These guys are anything but shy. There are two kinds of mantis shrimp, the spearers and the punchers. Let's start with the punchers. The puncher mantis shrimps, at least that's how I like to call them, have these spring muscles tucked into their body that they can accelerate and release at a force of roughly 15,000 newtons, which is roughly the same as being shot by a revolver. This is why this creature feeds on a lot of crustaceans, because it can crack shells open very easily. Now let's talk about the spear mantis shrimp. Unlike its cousin, the spear mantis shrimp is not much of a close combat fighter, it's more of an assassin. Both species of mantis shrimp have, unlike us who have 2 pupils, they have 6. And while we have 3 color receptors, red, green, and blue, mantis shrimp have 12. And this mantis shrimp uses that to its full potential. It will shoot up claws that are twice its body length to grab onto the prey with hooks attached at the end for complete impaling and to drag them back down. Now that we know how the appendages work, what are they used for? Hunting! Now, the activity of hunting wild animals or game, especially for food or sport. Fish! Guppies! Colorful fish! Swamp crabs! Emerald crabs! Christmas Island red crab! Just the regular crab! Crabs that swim! Blue clawed shrimp! Clawed shrimp! The original shrimp! KFC shrimp! This thing! This snail! The cornucopia from Hunger Games! Sand! Some more sand! That is a very long plant! That is not a fish! That thing is dead! I just realized half the species I named don't live in the same water as the mantis shrimp. Frick! The phantom jellyfish is a deep-sea creature that has been rarely seen and does not have a lot of information known about it. It is called the phantom jellyfish because its tentacles are a little different than a normal jellyfish. Instead of straight long strands that trail behind it, They come in 4 long drape-like structures that come in pure black, which is why it was given the name phantom jellyfish. Let's play a little game. I'm going to put this little image of your average basketball, and I want you to imagine what you think the size comparison of the jellyfish to this basketball is. Some of you may have guessed something like this, and if you did, you are incorrect.
Yahoo!
Let's make it the real size, shall we?
Oh, man!
Another interesting feature about this jellyfish is the fact that what looks like a solid orange body is actually a pulsating light. Honestly, as creepy as it sounds, I would not mind seeing this thing in real life. The whalefish is obviously a deep-sea fish that lives below 1,000 meters in the midnight zone, and honestly looks like one of the more normal-looking fish inside this entire video. With its unmistakable fins and colory appearance, you might think that this is a not-so-crazy creature. Well, take a look at this creature. I want you to guess what its relationship is regarding. You know what? I'm not even gonna let you guess. I'm just gonna tell you. This thing is the baby form. Look at the difference. Ay, ay, ay. How are these the same fish? Come on. But hey, all deep sea creatures probably have something like this, so we're probably gonna be moving on. No, we are not. More morpholistic kinetic transferabilism, because that's English. One thing I forgot to mention is that this is just the female. The male, drumroll please, looks like this! I said this was a normal fish, didn't I? I think I need therapy. The kitefin shark is a unique kind of shark that lives from 37 to 1800 meters below the surface. It is a species of dogfish shark. Wait, dogfish? Dogfish? That's a thing? Hang on. Apparently it is. Alright. Well, it is a species of dogfish shark that is, as many of the species in this video, rare, and it also has a very unique feature. Anyways, if it wasn't obvious before, and let's be honest, it definitely wasn't, this shark glows in the dark, and it's one of the few shark species that can actually do this little trick of bioluminescence, and can grow up to 5, potentially even 6 feet at best. It is also mostly found around the coasts of Africa, Europe, and Australia. However, like many other deep-sea creatures, not much is known about it.